Welcome inside the most sexiest, most relaxing, most comfortable place to be. I'm Lenny Green, and ladies, hold on to your seats. I've got another one. I got another heartthrob for you. Ladies have been loving this brother for a minute, and every season, his amount of followers in terms of ladies has increased. I understand at least by 1 million. But it is a pleasure to be welcoming ladies. You affectionately know this brother as Tommy, but his real name is Joseph Sikora. Thank you for coming back, man, to the Quiet Storm, brother. Good to see you, man.
Lenny, it's always good to be here, man. You're a legend, and I'm in the best company I could possibly want.
Man, when you say legend, I immediately think I'm old. So I got a long way to go. I mean, I am older, but I got a long way to go to get to legend status, brother.
Now listen, I also called Nicki Minaj a legend the other week, so maybe that helps.
Look, I'm excited, man. This coming Sunday on Stars, you have the spotlight shined on you, my brother. It's called The Force. All the power listeners and watchers are locked in with us tonight. Tell me how excited you are that the pendulum is swinging and the spotlight is going to be on you fully.
I could not be more excited right now that just to be part of the whole power world. And I think that because we move outside of the five boroughs of New York, that we have an opportunity to really make the power world into the power universe and expand beyond New York City. So Tommy, who is only comfortable in New York City, he is now a fish out of water, and he's in Chicago, and Chicago is a different animal for him. So it's going to be a lot of uncomfortability, a lot of things that should play out the way that Tommy feels they should play out, but they're not because it's not New York, it's Chicago. So he's got to keep his head on a swivel. He's got to learn all the lessons that he's learned over the course of our 6.5 seasons of the Power Show, and got to keep on keeping on and remain true to himself throughout the process as well.
You know, Joseph, I can't even believe, man. It's been 6 seasons, man. It doesn't even seem to be that much, but you guys have been working.
It's been 8 years, man. 8 years since we started. Yep.
And I remember when we first sat down to talk, you said, you were, just like most actors, you were trying to get to that gig, and to that would propel you to the next level. Well, it looks like power propelled you to constant, enormous levels. It's been a huge success for you outside of power.
It's been an unbelievably huge success, and I think that just speaks volumes to the creators, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who has been such an incredible force, and maybe that's where the title comes from, behind not only my career and Omari Hardwick, Naturi Nata, and Leela Lauren, but just that he did such an amazing job of lending his life as the backdrop, and his New York City as the backdrop for our incredible series that just keeps expanding. And with the gifted pen and storytelling of Courtney A. Kemp and Gary Lennon, it seems like we got a lot of life left in us.
I would say so, to say the least, a lot of life. Look, we have Joseph Sikora with us. Tommy is with us tonight from Power. You can catch him on Power Book 4 this Sunday. The time, it's 9 p.m. I don't have to tell you all that because I know we have diehards from day one. But for those who may not have stumbled upon Power, it's on the Starz Network, and you definitely would like to pick up and check out this. And then you can binge watch the 6 other seasons that Tommy and the cast that he just mentioned are on. So at the end, if I remember correctly, you left New York after Ghost, got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And you started venturing elsewhere. To my understanding, to take care of some unfinished business. Can you just kind of go over that for just?
Well, he left to because everything was against him. He had the mob against him. He had the mafia against him. He had all of the street gangs, the Taínos, against him. So he's really looking at a bridge that's just been burned. His best friend, brother, Ghost, is dead. His love of his life, Lakeisha, and her son, Cash. Lakeisha is dead, and her son is back with her father. Tariq and Tasha have turned their back on him. They're dead to him for all intents and purposes, even though he loves Tariq. His mother, she's dead to him. She said as much. You're dead to me. So He's got no support system. He's truly a man alone. And so he's an empty shell at this point. So I think it's going to be really interesting for the audience to see how Tommy fills himself up and puts those eggshell pieces, pieces of that smashed plate back together to make himself whole.
Tommy always finds a way how to secure some kind of romance or love interest or the attention of a woman. Come on, Joseph, your swag game has went up tenfold. Do you agree or disagree?
You know what? I think that Tommy's swag game went up tenfold. I think my swag game is still on, 3 or 4, especially in the room with you, Lenny.
No,
Nobody can hang with you,
brother. I heard when you were shooting in Chicago for the upcoming season, I heard that they had to stop filming because there were so many from bus drivers to ladies on the street. Don't let this brother fool you now. This brother, see, they walk right by me because you know why? I do radio. But they see you, Joseph. They see you every week, and they are in love with you. Look, the sisters love you. There's no denying that. Can I get an amen on that from you?
Listen, amen. And there's no bigger badge of honor that I'd like to because believe me, that's a two-way street. That you give love, you get love, you get love, you give love, and so that's really easy for me, Lenny.
So go. I know it is. Man, you wake up every morning. I'm not even going to get into it, but he wakes up every morning, ladies and gentlemen. At least 1,000,000 women have him first on their mind. They wake up, they go to sleep, maybe listening to the Quiet Storm, and they wake up having to deal with work. It's just that simple.
Sounds like a pretty sexy combo to me.
This is the setting in this upcoming season in Chicago, a place where you are born and raised in.
Yep.
And
yeah, it's funny to go back, Lenny. I got to say that I haven't lived in Chicago. I've lived in New York now for most of my life. So to go back, what I did was I actually went there early to go and reacquaint myself with the city. So I knew, just like Tommy is going to have to reacquaint himself with the city, or really acquaint himself with the city. So it was good for me to have art imitate life in that way, that things were so new. The old adage of you can never go home again is true. So everything is new and changed. So I had a really incredible time doing that.
Now, when you were born and you was raised there, what part of Chicago did you grow up on?
The Northwest Side. I grew up in Norwood Park and Jefferson Park on the far Northwest side.
Wow. Now, how is that different from the South Side? And did you ever hang out or chill?
I did. Yeah. I hung out a lot on the South Side in Auburn, Gresham. We had a really close family that was kind of my second family who were over there, the Powells, over at 89th and Wallace. And then I was all over the South Side because I boxed in the amateurs in Chicago Park districts for many years. It was a huge sense of my identity, and I loved it. I owe so much to my coach, Tom O'Shea, and the rest of the Matadors Boxing Club. So it was great. The South Side and the North Side, they mimic each in terms of look, like the houses.
Right.
The far South Side looks just like the far North Side in so many ways. So there's a lot of similarities in look. Now, because of Chicago's history and kind of the origin of the of modern American political system, the city has been one of the most divided cities in the north of America for most of its history. And our show reflects that. So we're honest to that plight. Whereas in New York, you don't really have an all black neighborhood because there's always some Latin people, some Asian, even some scattered white, where there wouldn't be in Chicago, where you would have an all black neighborhood where it's all black, no other ethnicity. So there is a difference in that. And I think that that's a huge thing that we responsibly explore. But also Tommy would be like, what is this? Like this, because it's not New York. It doesn't exist there like that. So he has to discover that, the ins and the outs and the kind of street politics of a situation like that.
So in 2022, it's still pretty much like that now?
There are sections of the South Side that are white neighborhoods. There's infamously Beverly neighborhood is a mixed, a middle class mixed neighborhood. There's also kind of primarily all white neighborhoods on the South Side, like Mount Greenwood. But then you have neighborhoods that are, what we would consider all black neighborhoods of, Auburn Gresham or Inglewood. So you have those neighborhoods, and then you have neighborhoods that would be almost entirely Latino, like Little Village, and now Pilsen is changing, getting more gentrified. And then on the north side, you have neighborhoods that would be almost exclusively white all over the north side. So there is that division. Yeah.
I've only been to Chicago a couple of times. I have never been to this huge food thing that you guys do. I forgot what it's called.
Taste of Chicago.
Taste of Chicago. I heard rave reviews about it, man.
It's fantastic. It's so much fun. It is wild. I don't even know if they've had it for the last few years because of the COVID.
The only thing I have a problem with, and I've proven it in too many people who are born and raised in Chicago, which we kind of go tug of war. And now that I know that you're a part of the Chicago life to a degree because you were born there, the pizza. I say New York pizza is still the best pizza. They say deep dish in Chicago is the best pizza. When I went to Chicago, they took me to the spot. It was more dough than I didn't appreciate it. So we went back and forth. Selena Johnson, she's an R&B singer that's out of Chicago. She says, no, forget about New York pizza. It's Chicago pizza. I still say Chicago pizza is. New York pizza is still at the top.
Yeah, I mean, New York pizza. Chicago pizza. If you say deep dish versus a New York slice, it's New York all day. All day. I mean, my friend Premium Pete out here in New York, he's a Brooklynite, and he always calls it pizza soup, deep dish. So I kind of agree with him. I think that the thing is that people don't really eat deep dish all that much. It's kind of a once in a, like you eat it at a quinceañera or a graduation, but because we would go to our local pizza spot, Phil's Pizza Doro on Milwaukee and Austin, and every Friday night you get a pie, but you don't get a deep dish. You get a regular flat pie, but we just cut it in squares instead of slices.
You're working on so many other things. I want to talk about first your production company, Black Fox Productions, that you have alongside with your brother. Can you share some of that insight with us?
Yeah, Black Fox is made to really give voices to the urban experience, whether that's rich, whether that's poor. It gives a voice to stories that we haven't necessarily focused on, and we try to make those very Chicago-centric stories. So we're bringing more work, more people, more spotlight back on the city of Chicago, which I think is underutilized in a lot of ways. And certainly my brother Alvin and I do. So we are focusing on those stories and bringing a lot of those stories to life, whether it's rich or poor, black or white. We kind of focus on the urban experience.
Is Alvin also an actor?
Albin. And no, he's not an actor. He's just good looking.
So it runs in the family, I guess, right?
Oh, man, that's generous of you.
Well, yeah, look, I don't know who's mama, who looks like more. You look like your mom.
An even mix, although he looks a little more like our mother. And I think that's what gives him the edge.
Gotcha.
A little more delicate than my big features.
So is Black Fox Productions also looking for new talent?
Presently, we are looking to develop stories exclusively. So new talent in terms of writing, in terms of people with stories. We're always interested in new material, new IP, but we have so much on our plate already.
I'm sure.
It's basically the Kevin Costner method of if you build it, they will come.
And you guys have definitely built it. So that's what's up. You were gracious enough to be in 2 reoccurring seasons, or roles, I should say, in Ozark.
Yeah. Frank Cosgrove Jr. in seasons 3 and 4. It's been amazing. The showrunner of that, Chris Mundy, is truly one of the most brilliant writers. And I use that word very sparingly that I've ever met in my life. He's kind, he's collaborative, and his storytelling is second to none. And I think that Laura Linney is truly one of America's great actors by far. Also loved working with Jason Bateman, who's a brilliant guy, and Julia Garner, who plays Ruth, is a delight and such a joy to work with. So even to be a small part on such a huge show was an honor.
So Tommy, I'm so used to your character, man.
Call me Joseph, call me Tommy, just call me.
Just call you. Joseph Sikora is with us. Tommy, that's right, from Power. Let's go back into what we can expect. In the trailer that we all are seeing, we see you definitely affectionately kissing a woman. And we see you, of course, doing some. Did you blow up the building that we saw?
That was a car. It was a car.
Oh, it was a car. Okay.
And let's just say Tommy poured some sort of something flammable on that car, and the car blew itself up.
Oh yeah, of course. You would never do something like that.
Sir.
No, not at all. But what can we expect from Tommy that we have not seen from Tommy in previous episodes?
Well, I think just that because the show is focused so much on Tommy, that we get to see kind of the inner workings of Tommy's mind more, what Tommy thinks and feels, some of those quiet moments. And I think that that's going to be really satisfying for the audience, because I think one of the reasons that we all are able to tap into our inner Tommies is because it's really a 360-degree character, that you get the good with the bad. You get the guy who is, again, going to blow up a car, possibly with people inside it. Who knows what happens there? But also you're going to see the guy that cries himself to sleep sometimes with being overwhelmed by the lifestyle that he's chosen. So he stays true to himself. He's serious, and he's defiant, and can be incredibly hard edge, but he can also be soft and caring and smile and love.
Only by a woman, fellas. You have no chance in winning over the likes of a Tommy. So you feel that there's a little Tommy in all of us, men and women.
I think so. I think that we all get angry enough to do some of the things that we would do with Tommy. That Tommy does, and I think that we also we wouldn't follow them out, but I think we think those thoughts, and so somehow the vicariousness of Tommy is part of all of us. I think that that's one of the things that transcends. I also think that he overcame the storyline that he set up is a beautiful with how much he has overcome adversity, how he had to prove himself twice in the neighborhood back in Southside Jamaica, Queens, to actually be taken seriously, to actually get the love that he so wantingly searches out. So I think we can all relate to having to really fight for what you believe in and fight to get out of a situation.
Very interesting point. You know, I know how much of an impact you are making when I have a dear friend, shout out to Miss Rosie, who flew from New York to Houston just to be at the Green Gang, the Green Light
Green Light Gang. Oh my God, that was a good night. She had a good night, I'll tell you, at a dress. Woo,
Yeah.
Michael Rainey Jr., Lil Meech from BMF. Holy cow, we had an amazing, amazing night. And I got to tell you, Lenny, Houston knows how to do it. So I'm glad she picked a good one to come to.
But New York was exciting too for the premiere.
Oh, forget it.
Pier 17.
Pier 17. They brought the old Mustang. The old girl was on the rooftop with us. We had our little igloos. 50 Cent and Jeff Hirsch, the CEO of Starz, who's a great human being. And I love him even more bringing the show on there. But he really is a good guy. And they had beautiful speeches, kind things to say. We had some huge celebrities in the house, Adrian Brody. We had Fat Joe. Wow. We had Ice-T and Coco. So like they came out. New York stood up, and we turned it up.
Yeah, you always do, man. 50, shout out to Curtis. He's always a class act, and he does it big. He doesn't do it small. He does it big. Before I let you go, brother, I understand a little birdie told me that you're great at dialects.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I was great. I was great at once upon a time. I'm still good. You know, I can get down with some dialects.
You gotta give me one. Give me one. Get which ones are you great at? Like which ones?
Right now, I suppose I could go into a little bit of Tommy Flanagan, even though Tommy Flanagan's Glasgow region. So like when he gets into his Scottish, you probably couldn't understand him perfectly. But there you go. There's a little bit of Glasgow region Scottish.
Joseph Sikora, bad boy, really bad. His name is Tommy, of course, in the Power Book. Don't forget Power Book 4 this Sunday on the Starz Network, 9 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listing for when it airs. And if you're not going to be around, I know what you do, Power folks. I know what you do. You definitely DVR it. So you definitely do that. Brother, it's always great seeing you. And
honor, Lenny, always.
May God continue to bless you, brother. And I hope to not do this one day. We can get back in the studio and just have some fun and chop it up.
That sounds like a fantastic, fantastic time. I would rather this COVID thing take a back seat. I'd love to see you and chill with you again. And could you do me a favor, Lenny? Could you take me out with Freaking You by Jodeci?
You got it.